education easy for them.
Yes.
Good. Education is easy for those that have special needs. And those that do not have special needs, education is difficult for them. What a rat race. Huh? What a rat race. They don't know what if they know what they want, they will always know what to do.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. I think we'll just go on a short break right now. I'll be back with more of the discussions on the program.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election year? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, Channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people have a stake.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. Honourables, you human trafficker. Honourables, you are a human.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is Society Wide. Thank you, Ma, for being here. Alright, so before we went on the break, we were talking about the 4.3 billion naira that has been released by UBEC for the special needs education in the country. Now, some people have said that, okay, it's a good thing that this sum has been released, just like you said, but are we actually seeing the impact of this amount on the education for special needs children?
We are not seeing any impact. We still have so many children with special needs have not been able to acquire any form of education. So many have not been able to acquire any form of education.
So at this point, are we going to blame the government or we are going to blame the parents?
We still blame the government. Yes, they have written that they have released the fund. Who was the fund released to? See the same them there. Being able to disburse this money to be able to achieve need or the goal for the purpose of the purpose of releasing the money. To what extent have they been able to achieve this? To what extent have they been able to disburse this money? And have they been able to border or is there any concern at all? What have they done? You are giving this amount. Can you tell us? Can you show us? Nigeria is still a developing what? Country. Meanwhile, they have said in the national policy that education will be used to develop what? The nation. So, where lies the problem? Why? You don't bother if the purpose of releasing that money has been achieved. Maybe doctor, he read medicine, and the person is a educational planner. What should the person plan? Because if the person is an educational planner, he should be able to assess the extent to which the fund released for special children or children with special needs, extent at which the money was utilized, and the profit. It's a business. You go into a business with a capital. At the end of the day, it's expected that you will get your profit. So what's the profit from the money they have released since 2016 to date? Over 5 years now. The profit should be in the number of children with special needs that they've been able to do what? Educate, that can contribute to their quota to the development of the what? Nation. But we've not seen any of such.
So you're saying beyond just releasing money, there should be some strategy to assess?
To assess the extent at which this fund has been utilized.
All right, thank you very much. Let's just move away from that and look at that on social protection program. UNICEF confirmed Sokoto for social protection programs. The United Nations International Children's Fund has approved Sokoto State as one of the few states that has acquired a blueprint for the successful execution of social protection activities. While speaking at a joint Sustainable Development Goals Social Protection Project closeout meeting with stakeholders in Sokoto, a social protection officer of UNICEF, Malam Issa Ibrahim, said we secured government's commitment to develop social protection policy and commitment in the improved budgetary allocation to social protection. Before the present project, various social interventions were implemented in Sokoto State. However, this program was able to coordinate and gathered all key ministries and departments with critical actors in a single platform. The mechanisms have been formulated with empowered manpower for successful cash transfer exercise, health support, and other social protection aspects with correct sustainability plans. According to him, United Nations considered Sokoto State to pilot social protection scheme in recognition of the poverty index from authorities which rated the state among high prevalence areas. Now, he noted that poverty-deprived citizens with different aspects of living from education, health, and others which were detrimental to human progress, stressing that vulnerables were targeted to improve their living conditions. Ibrahim said the programs include cash transfer to education, especially for the girl child, enrollment of vulnerable individuals into the healthcare contributory scheme, and other state social assistance initiatives. Speaking also, the program policy officer of World Food Program, Dr. Akim Olushola, said the effort served as a driver to standardize national social protection policy in Nigeria, as well as improve collation into national safety nets register. Now, I've been looking at this. This is actually a very good one from UN.
Yes.
But now, let's also consider the fact that there are other states who
Yes.
have need for social
Social
protection
protection.
programs. But then there's a clause from there that the social protection manager did say. He said that they approached the government and he included social protection into the policy,
Budget, yes.
into the budget.
Budget, yes.
So, don't you think this is more like a pointer to the fact that this is obtainable in Sokoto because they gave room for it, and probably other states didn't give room for it?
I don't think so. There's no how other states will not give room for it. It still boils down to this. Another thing that is killing our society is what? Tribalism.
Okay.
It's possible that the person at the top, especially as it has to do with the Issa.
Yeah.
No, I don't know where it's from.
Ibrahim.
I'm not sure it's not from Sokoto. Tribalism. There's no state in Nigeria that does not need social protection. Why single out Sokoto State alone?
But they say they are parts of the states with high prevalence rates of poverty.
Is there any state? Is there any state in this country that does not have that high? What did they use in the measurement? Okay, let's agree that they have the highest. But it goes beyond that. We expected that other states, how about Kaduna? How about Kano? How about Port Harcourt? We have a lot of children roaming the streets. So, they also need such attention. I doubt if it's just a matter of they have the highest. It's not so. I disagree with that. You still have to do it. Addressing the issue of what? Tribalism.
But
This is
you
my state.
also agree that projects like this only go to where they are being appreciated.
I do. I do agree that projects of this nature go to where they are appreciated. I also agree that if the same hand is extended to other states, it should be appreciated. It should definitely be appreciated. It's not like I can put sugar in someone's mouth and the person will not lick. It should be appreciated. It should definitely be appreciated. They should extend the same hand of fellowship to other states and watch if it should not be appreciated.
Well, let's move away from the UN is just an organization.
Yes.
Now, looking at the federal government, what would you make of the federal government's effort towards social protection programs in the country?
What? As for the federal government, we don't have any social protection. We don't. And they have not made any effort to address the issue of social protection. When there are killings everywhere, you will agree with me. Listen to the radio almost on daily basis. Either this person is killed today, priest is killed tomorrow, they are kidnapped. A lot of social vices. And the federal government have not done anything. I heard of recent that, I think it was this morning, that Buhari's convoy was attacked, and just 2 persons were injured. I doubt. I'm beginning to feel that that was planned to exonerate the federal government from asserting that they too are involved in it. Because if they are not attacked, it should be that we are trying our best to address the issue of insecurity in the state. But despite our efforts, we are also what? Attacked. Have you ever heard of any attack of such nature without any person dying?
Or let's say the military swung into action, the security operators.
Immediately, because the president is involved. But if it is the poor masses, the military will not. At most, 2 persons must die. But in the news today, I heard that 2 persons sustained minor injury.
All right, let's just move away from that and look at our last issue for today. On inflation, traders, residents lament increase in food prices in Rivers. Traders and residents in Port Harcourt, the capital city of Rivers State, have bemoaned the rapid increase in the prices of food and other commodities. And then this has been recurrent lately, considering the prices of commodities in the market nationwide. I don't know, recently Ukraine had warned that we are bound to experience hikes in prices, considering the fact that they are part of a major suppliers of grains, and we do not have that anymore because of the war that is currently there. Now, what would you make of this incident increase? Do you see it coming to an end soon?
That's a very big question to answer. Coming to an end soon. It's a prayer that only God can answer. With God, all things are possible. It's only with prayer that this can. And like you've rightly said, if Ukraine are the major suppliers and the war is still going on, meaning that soon they will not supply. And if they don't supply, in economics, the law is always, when the demand is what? High. The price is what? High. The law of supply, demand and what? Supply. When the supply is not there, the price is also bound to do what? Rise. And so, like I said, it's only by God's grace that the price can come down. And we should all join efforts to pray to God to at least help to end the lingering war between Russia and Ukraine, if for no reason, so that they can be supplying us.
But we also have farmers here in Nigeria who should be producing. Then I think our attention should be on our local farmers instead of those in Ukraine.
We have these farmers. We have farmers, don't we? We do. Yet, we import these things. Why? We have refineries. We import fuel. So, it's been there. Yes, if government can, it still boils down to the same word. Government, leadership. It's possible if they can put things in the right place. See how you can help the farmers now, just as they've done for children with educating children with special needs. Fine. They have been able to identify that prices of foodstuff is what? On the increase. Then go back to the drawing board. Our farmers, what do we do? There was a time I heard that they gave money to what? Farmers, to farm. to plant. They even gave fertilizer for free. Again, it comes to the problem. It boils down to the issue of conducting an assessment as to ascertain the extent to which the money again that was dispersed for a particular purpose has been utilized. You don't monitor, they are budgeting enters back to their pocket. That is why they cannot do an assessment as to ascertain what is happening. Yes, there was a time they removed fuel subsidy, and that's the reason for the hike in fuel prices, is it not? So what has happened? The whole money that they made all this period, what has happened to it? Why can't we put our refinery in order? Why? So, the price of these foodstuffs coming down, like I said, is only by the grace of what? God, because our leaders are not yet ready to tackle the issue of poverty. And it's as a result of selfishness. They want more for themselves. The price of gas today is on the increase too, because some people are benefiting from it.
So what can we actually do? What can the people back there in their houses do to, at least for this period that we are experiencing these hikes, to just cope up with it? It sounds like a heavy one.
What we can do to cope up with it? Well, it's not as if I'm not affected. So I try to adjust. I warn my children. I even monitor it my own. You don't on the gas and step out of the kitchen. Stay there and monitor it as soon as it boils. These are measures, oh. As soon as whatever you're cooking boils,
Put it off.
put it off. See, if I'm boiling more than 20 cups of rice, thank God I have a place where I can use firewood. Okay, I rub detergent on the back of the pot. I boil it. It will save that cost. So, we should try and adjust. One thing I like Nigeria is that we know how to manage.
Yeah.
We should try and adjust and continually pray to God to help us. It will come to an end one day.
Sure. Thank you very much, Ma.
Okay.
We have to adjust. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. We just have to adjust to continue in this time. And we do trust that very soon this will fade away. All right. Thank you very much, Ma, for being on the show today.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you,
God bless
our
you.
viewers. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, our viewers, for being out there with us. We do hope that you join us tomorrow again for another interesting time. I am Anita Obari. You can follow us on our social media handles: Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress.
people making the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810 634 1777. ATN Icons, celebrating the giants of our time.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election year? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people have a stake.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You're a human.
on there. They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
money from people, publish their name, because that is part of the fact that, and ban them from participating in politics. You don't just collect money from them.
The child alone, not the job of the parents alone or neighbors alone, but it is ASU is fed up. It's fed up. They are fed up of the promises of the government.
Arisopam is working. About breweries is working. A lot of companies, industries, people are engaged. So you see that even the vices are very, very low.
If you collect money from people, publish their name, because that is part of the fact that, and ban them from participating in politics. You don't just collect money from them.
The child alone, not the job of the parents alone or neighbors alone, but it is ASU is fed up. It's fed up. They are fed up of the promises of the government.
Arisopam is working. About breweries is working. A lot of companies, industries, people are engaged. So you see that even the vices are very, very low.
A very beautiful afternoon to you and welcome to Primetime Advocacy. Our job here on Primetime Advocacy is very simple: provide you relevant information on issues that affect the people at all scales and have the right professionals and stakeholders advocate on these issues. But this afternoon on Primetime Advocacy, we're going to look at some issues. The first is Anambra. We're going to Anambra State, where the police says terrorists did not invade Onitsha Church. And then we have ASU strike union gives conditions to back out of strike. And certificate saga, CSO sues IGP over Tinubu's alleged perjury. I'm doing this on my own with you out there. I just want to bring these issues out. These are issues that we all need to advocate on because they are very critical issues. The first on the lineup, like I said, is on Anambra State. But I'll take a short break. When I come back, I'll go straight to the issues and be right back to you. Meet the people making the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810-634-1777. ATN Icons, celebrating the giants of our time.
If you collect money from people, publish their name, because that is part of the fact that, and ban them from participating in politics. You don't just collect money from them.
The child alone, not the job of the parents alone or neighbors alone, but it is ASU is fed up. It's fed up. They are fed up of the promises of the government.
Arisopam is working. About breweries is working. A lot of companies, industries, people are engaged. So you see that even the vices are very, very low.
All right, good to have you back on Primetime Advocacy this afternoon. Now, the police in Anambra State came out to, counter the information that was shared on social media sometime during the weekend that a church was burnt in Anambra State. So they have dismissed the stories making the rounds that 4 terrorists entered the Grace of God Church on Onitsha, Anambra State last Sunday and then bombed the place. Now, the police spokesperson Tochukwu Ikenga in Oka revealed that a Facebook post made by one Chinas Aworu that terrorists sneaked into the church and was meant to mislead the public, he said. The post maker Aworu had claimed in the post that suspected terrorists burnt a congregant, while 3 others fled into a nearby military barracks, just as they were still holding others to ransom. However, the police spokesperson said there was that the post is not only false, but a complete mischievous scheme to cause tension in the state by inciting ethnic and other religious hatred and, of course, conflicts. Ikenga explained that the police did receive a report that on this note. However, it was a distress call made on Sunday that one criminal was set ablaze in an area of the town. Ikenga said that the police pre-operatives made inquiries on arrival at the scene and gathered that the victim was a criminal and he was caught in an attempt to rob someone, and the person, the criminal, was lynched by an angry mob. Now, that's exactly what the police said happened. Why we're advocating on this particular issue right now is this. Yes, we live in a global world. We have access to information. We can buy any smart device that we want to, that we desire, that we can afford. We have access to cable TV that tells us what is happening in the US as we see. These are all elements of the globalized world. However, taking these things out of context has adverse effects. How do I mean? You cannot afford to carry a rumor, carry a story that is not true. Before you post anything, verify the source. Ask yourself, what is the source of this information? There are consequences to spreading false information. You might take it for granted, but trust me, if the Nigerian police wants to go after the Chinasa Saworu character, he or she cannot hide. I have seen the Nigerian police work. I have known how they work. I know how much they can go into details when it comes to investigation. Guys, we need to be careful. Nigerians, we need to be careful. Hiding under your keyboard, like we say, to post things that you shouldn't be posting on social media is a crime that is punishable by law. You made an information, and if people were following that and the news decided, and the news happens to go viral, what you have done is you've created a chaos. You've created a problem for everyone, even an innocent person. Not too long ago in this same Anambra State, an innocent woman and her 4 children were murdered. Why? Because someone felt aggrieved that they are northerners. Because, quote unquote, northerners have marginalized the country, or they have done the worst things whoever it is that carried out the acts could think of. Because someone clearly have taken his time to incite Igbos against the northerners. You've labeled everyone who lived in northern Nigeria a Fulani. Every Muslim have become an enemy in their eyes. So, just like that, a wrong information that was taken too far cost an innocent woman and her 4 children their lives, and several others. So we must be careful how we pass information across. Yes, it's social media. I know everyone is now a journalist, but the truth is, are you trained for that thing you're doing? Are you supposed to be sharing information that you do not know the source? I can decide to write something with an ulterior motive, and you have no idea that's what, and then you begin to click the share buttons and spread information that is not actually true. We really need to be careful. There's the adage that when you throw a stone into the marketplace, it may not land on your enemy, it may end up landing on a family member, because we all go to the same market, and you wouldn't know who is where at a given time. When people die because of wrong information, we have seen a military couple murdered because the army are said to be the enemy of Igbos. We have seen so many things go wrong, all in the name of religion, ethnicity. It is not the path to go. We pray that the Nigerian police would actually go out and fetch out this Chinasa Saworu character and use him or her as an example, wherever they may be. I trust the Nigerian police enough to know that they can do that and actually go out to do that. Our advocacy, once again, on that issue is very simple. When you pick up your phone or your smart device to access the public space, or that's called the internet today, access the public space, be careful of what you put out there. Be careful of the information you put out there. There is no point giving out information that you know that this information is wrong. You are harming innocent people. You're going to put innocent lives at stake. If the police hadn't come in to find out what exactly happened in Anambra, it would have dropped like a pack of cards, and of course the innocent people will end up being caught in the mess as usual. So whatever we do as a people, we must be careful. We must pay attention to what we need to pay attention to, and ensure that we do the needful when and where necessary. And that's what we want to talk about. We're advocating on the issue, the false information that came to the news that a church was bombed, the church name was even given, and all that. It will also be helpful if the pastor of this church can also come out and put it out there that nothing of such happened in his church or her church. We are a community of humans living in different a society that we find ourselves in. We cannot afford to give room for things that shouldn't be, things that could escalate to something very dangerous to happen, and then we keep mum at it. Because what that means is the police just came out to say, oh, that was a rumor. So if there's a conflict entrepreneur somewhere that wants to just show that they are powerful and they decide to attack the church, both the person who kept quiet when this was said about his or her church, and of course the person who actually passed information across, they may not be much different. So we must come out and stand our ground and ensure that when people do the wrong thing, we say, no, this is the wrong thing. Now let's quickly go to Anambra State. Now let's quickly go to ASU. Now on ASU, the union has given conditions for them to back out of the strike. What are some of these conditions? Now they have said, you know, if you're following the ASU story, you should know about the IPPIS and of course the UTAS. Now the government have said several, we have presented UTAS to you. UTAS has been tested by you, Nigerian government. IPPIS is yet to be tested, yet to pass any of the tests that UTAS did pass. So the Academic Staff Union of Universities have raised the hopes of Nigerian students, you know, that it is close to calling off the ongoing strike action that has lasted for over 3 months. The body had issued a condition that will cause it to immediately call off the strike that led to the closure of many public universities in Nigeria. Professor Sedeke, who is ASU President, the man of Sedeke, has challenged the federal government to work with transparency, accountability solution. That's what UTAS stand for. It's a payment platform that if they do that, they are going to call off the strike. Osadeke said the strike will continue unless the government accepts UTAS and honor the 2009 agreements. He said, let the government tell us they have finished testing the UTAS and signed the agreement. Then tomorrow we'll call off the strike. Now the ASU president further explained their demands, and he said that in the interest of Nigerian students who are learning and under unconducive environment, they cited examples of Ghana and South Africa as countries with viable educational system. But it's true, we have our people going there for the same thing we are supposed to be providing for them. So he said, these are the issues we're asking for. The 2009 agreement, we need you to sign it. We need you to finally approve for UTAS to become a payment plan for them, a payment system to be used for their salary or welfare and all there is to it. So the average person is asking, what is so difficult in having the Nigerian government just agree and do this? Why is it such a big deal? If these people have said, we don't trust the IPPIS, it does not cover the grounds of payments that we need them to cover. What is the big deal in signing the 2009 agreements? Students have lost about approximately 2 years, 2 sections over this ASU strike. Now, with the government doing the needful, they seem not to be looking that way as something important. Does it even matter to them that students are on strike? What we are talking about everywhere right now is simply 2023 election. What candidates did what? Well, who would win the election? The election you are planning to win, who are you fighting for? What are you winning? Who are you fighting for? Why do you want to win the election? To do what exactly? And to think that the Buhari government is actually hoping to take over power from where it's left off, or where they'll be leaving off by 2023, one would actually think, okay, why don't they just find a way to pay us, to release the funds they want from us, to sign the agreement and get them to use UTAS? Why is it such a problem for this government? Is this a case of when 2 elephants are fighting, the grass suffers? But the vegetation that you're stepping on because you're fighting, for instance, when you read whatever they are supposed to bring for you in the future, What do you have left? So these people have complained severally that this is what they want. Give us a transparent payment system that serves the purpose for us. You have refused to do that. Can we begin to ask the federal government what their reasons are, why they are not listening to what ASU is saying? Can this government give us a cogent reason why they don't want to use the UTAS, why they are using the IPPIS? Can we put the IPPIS through the tests they have presented? They have to put UTAS through and see which comes out better. There are several issues that we have in this country, and the education, the university education, is one major concern that we've had over the years. Yet, this government don't seem to care, just like the ones in the past. Well, what we can say to you, fellow Nigerians, is we have to find a way to give ourselves to the cause that is ahead of us, have the right person on board. Clearly, these governments don't seem to feel the pulse of the young people, don't seem to feel the need for it. But are we going to keep quiet? And how long are we going to keep quiet? This is the reason why you have to follow the conversations and ensure that you participate in where and where necessary. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll go straight to our next story for this afternoon. Trust me, this is very crucial and you want to be part of this. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election year? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, Channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people have a stake.
ICPC, if you collect money from people, publish their name, because that is part of the fact that, and ban them from participating in politics. You don't just collect money from them.
The child alone, not the job of the parents alone or neighbors alone, but it is ASU is fed up. It's fed up. They are fed up of the promises of the government.
Arisopam is working. About breweries is working. A lot of companies, industries, people are engaged. So you see that even the vices are very, very low.
Prime Time Advocacy, and this is the last story for this afternoon. Certificate saga. The chief security, the officers of the CSO, civil society organization, sues the federal government over the certificate of, sues the IGP rather over the certificate of Tinubu. According to them, a civil rights group, incorporated trustee of Center for Reform and Public Advocacy, has dragged the Inspector General of Police to a federal high court in Abuja, where they allegedly refusing to prosecute the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, over the allegations bordering on perjury. The suit dated and filed on July 4th on behalf of the organization in Abuja by Mike Wanko, has the Nigerian Police Force and the IGP as first and second respondents. The group said that the legal action against the police was necessitated by the IGP's alleged refusal to take action on its petition against Tinubu over an offense it claimed the presidential candidate was indicted by the Lagos State House of Assembly for in 1999. The applicant maintained that the sections 214 and 215 of the Constitution and section 4 of the Nigerian Police Act 2020, the police have the statutory responsibility to prevent, detect and investigate criminal allegations whether brought to their notice by individuals and all that. We don't have a lot of time, but let me quickly go into this story. There are several issues I want to bring forth in this story. In 1999, this case was the House of Estates, Lagos State House of Assembly raised a case against Tinubu because over his certificate issue. So at that point, he did feel in that he went to certain schools in I think Ibadan. Now, this is 2022. He wants to contest for another election, and here we are talking about the same issue, but this time he didn't feel in that he went to ABC school. What he did was he said that he lost it, gave him an affidavit. The big question on that is, why you're the same man, supposedly with the same certificates in 1999 and 2002. Why do we have that? Now, they are demanding for criminal prosecution of Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu under sections 191, 192, and 463 of the Criminal Code Act. Their reason is very simple. The Lagos State House of Assembly Ad hoc Committee raised issues on Tinubu's certification. Some would say, what happened to the ABC screening committee? How come they didn't know about this before giving him opportunity to contest for the primaries? But guess what? This literally has nothing to do with what happened when and how it happened. It's a clear fact that a man who wants to be the president of Nigeria presented facts that are contrary to the one he already presented in the public space. Why did Tinubu feel the need to go ahead to say two things and not even caring whether he will be called out or it will be found out or not? I will tell you, it's very simple. Tinubu knows too well. Over the years, they have used us, made us believe that, oh, nothing, we don't really know much, we don't know what is going on. So somehow, they've told themselves that so much, and they have seen Nigerians, the majority of Nigerians, act like people without the mind of their own. So whatever they say, we agree. We have been impoverished on so many levels, from education to basic social amenities. So somehow, him and his deputy, and it's not just Tinubu here, they feel like Nigerians will not get sense. Anything you tell them, they go believe. So I'm not even having this conversation with you now because of Tinubu. I'm having this conversation because of you and I. Some of you are ready to vote Tinubu into power. That's okay. But ask yourself this question. Why is Tinubu a choice that you would want to make with where we are today as a nation? With all the controversies surrounding Ahmed Bola Tinubu, why is he still an option in your mind? If you look at it either way, you would wonder, that's like wondering why anyone would want to give their votes to a man whose integrity is questionable. Because of why would I do that? Because of what I would benefit. In Atlantic Television Network, our job is simple: bring these issues to you, x-ray this issue, and give you opportunity to make the right choice where and when necessary. Because when you vote in a man with questionable integrity on so many counts, what you are inadvertently doing is simple. You are saying it's okay not to go to school. Like the young people will say, school na scam. You're saying it doesn't matter what happens. We can continue the way we have been going over the years. How has that served us? And how will that serve us in the next 4 years, in the next 8 years? Your PVC is the most treasured smart device you have today, because the decision of your life depends on it. Follow the conversation, give your take, and know who you're working to vote for, and know who you shouldn't vote for. That's what you can take on Prime Time Advocacy this afternoon. My name is Vivian Douglas. Do well to follow us on Twitter, on our social media pages, so we can continue the conversation. On Twitter, we are at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Remember that peace and unity are always the pathway to progress. Good afternoon.
If you collect money from people, publish their name, because that is part of the fact that, and ban them from participating in politics. You don't just collect money from them.
The child alone, not the job of the parents alone or neighbors alone, but it is ASU is fed up. It's fed up. They are fed up of the promises of the government.
Arisopam is working. Harvard Breweries is working. A lot of companies, industries, people are engaged. So you see that even the vices are very, very low.
People making the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810-634-1777. ATN Icons, celebrating the giants of our time.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election here? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people